So let's talk about the transformation because it's obvious. I was telling Chris on the phone the other day. I even see it in his face.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I've lost weight and gained weight, and I see it in my face when it happens, but I see it in his face from last season to now. And when I'm out on training camp, obviously I see his overall build looks like it did in 2018. And Baker's been open, and he's talked about he was heavier than he's ever been at a playing weight last year. And so now he feels like he can move like he used to move. So when you see the transformation, like, the before, after, or whatever that we're used to seeing on TV, how much pride do you take in that? And, how much obviously goes into what you're talking about, a guy who's really willing to work and wanting to be pushed.
It's funny because even though I enjoy the game of football, I watch a lot of football, I don't really follow certain players. And I knew of Baker. I knew that he was the first pick in the NFL draft. If you ask me any of his stats or accolades, I only know he won the Heisman, right? And so I never really knew about the Baker from last year until all of these pictures came out about the transformation. All I know were the numbers, like what he came in at in terms of body fat percentage and what he left at. And so it's really cool to see this end process, to see the final result. But, like he was saying, I think he said on Good Morning Football one time, is that last year he had to put on he had to have that excess amount of weight in order to stay safe, in order to be healthy, in terms of being able to take hits and come back up. So, one of the important things when I was creating the program for him was two key factors, right? So it's performance and longevity. So I want him to be able to perform the way he did when he won the Heisman, or I want him to be able to perform the way he did his rookie season when he set the rookie touchdown passing record. So I want him to be able to be at that level, but still have the longevity piece. And being at that body weight that he was at last year that's not the correct route to go. So we were able to kind of reduce some of that body fat percentage so that way he could become more powerful, more explosive, have better speed, and then also really structure around building his ligaments and his tendons and his muscle tissue so that way he can take those hits the appropriate way. So instead of relying on that excess amount of body weight to kind of absorb those impacts, now we're relying on his ability, his strength to be able to get back up.
So in layman's terms, built muscle. So, he could still, ideally take the hits, but also move better.
Right.
Reducing the body fat.
So definitely building the muscle tissue. And then, like I said, also focusing on the ligaments and the tendons of the body, because those are going to be what's really important. And it's going to allow a player that longevity in the game, because his end game isn't, his rookie contract. His end game is, 10, 15 years. That's the kind of pride as a strength coach that you have when you see your guy last that long.
And how do you focus on ligaments and tendons? Because I think the average person just thinks like I do, you got bulked up, but ligaments and tendons, that's next level thinking, and that's why you're a professional. So how do you focus on those?
So a lot of the things that we do are focused around, we incorporate a lot of mobility, and it's mobility that's specific to the athlete. So he's a quarterback, so we have to make sure that his hips are perfect, that he's able to shift the hips perfectly in the pocket as he's looking for the passer or the catcher. And then we also got to take care of the shoulders. So first we incorporate all the mobility, and then we do like a lot of single joint movements, is what we call them as strength professional, single joint movements that are going to target those specific tissues around those joints. And that'll help stabilize the joint. That'll help make sure that that joint is safe and can do what it needs to do for a long period of time. And
so you obviously you're working a lot in the weight room with him. Do you work on the cardio piece too, or is that all under your umbrella?
It's all under my umbrella. So, everything, we trained 4 times a week for 8 weeks at 7 a.m. And it's brutal. It's really brutal. It's an hour and a half session. Some of the times, me, him, and his brother, if we can get past all the jokes and everything at the beginning of the warm up as we're doing the mobility work, then we get straight to work. So we joke around a little bit and things like that, and then besides that, it's all work.